Hello and thank you for joining us at Easy Cooking today. My wife was nice enough to agree to finally appear in front of the camera today, and she is going to make her famous banana bread. She sometimes makes it as a loaf, sometimes as banana bread muffins, and I don't know how she's going to do it today, but I'm glad that she decided to join me for my channel and treat me with some banana bread muffins. So I'm going to step aside and I'm going to let her take over.
Hi everyone, I'm Caitlin. The way I cook is a lot different than Deanne. I'm not so neat and organized. I usually try to make as few dishes as possible, so I'm gonna kind of make the muffins the way I normally make them. This is my Grandma Alice's recipe that I've modified slightly. I added a couple ingredients. I cut the sugar and I added an extra banana, so just to make it a little bit healthier. So I hope you enjoy. First we're gonna add all the dry ingredients. We need a cup and a quarter of flour, which I have right here. Use a quarter cup measuring cup so I can only get one dirty, again saving dishes. We need 3/4 a cup of sugar. It used to call for a cup and only 3 bananas, but I added an extra banana and cut a quarter cup of sugar out of the recipe. Now we are going to add the baking soda and the salt. And just mix these together with a fork. I also like to add cinnamon. During the fall and the holidays, I'll often add a little bit of nutmeg. Whatever you feel like, you can add. Again, I don't really measure the cinnamon, I just kind of eyeball it, so sorry about that, but I would guess maybe like half a teaspoon. And my grandma's recipe never called for cinnamon, so I completely added that in on my own. Okay, now we're gonna set this off to the side while we mix the wet ingredients. Actually, first we're gonna add the butter in. I have a stick of softened butter. The night ahead of time, you kind of need to plan ahead, get it out, let it soften. Worst case, if you forgot, I used to always just melt it in the microwave, but of course, the flavor's better when it's softened, not melted. I'm just gonna, a little bit of a time, add like half of a teaspoon in. And then we will just mix these all at the end. Growing up, we always had this, my Grandma Alice would make it, always in a loaf form, almost more like a banana bread cake. But with my girls, I've lately been putting it in muffin form, muffin cups, because it's better for storage, and then they can take them wherever we're going out and about, or share with friends a lot easier. I get a lot of requests to make this. Again, just adding a tablespoon at a time into the flour. Usually I'm making this pretty quickly while the girls are playing. They're not usually very patient asking for it to get finished, so here's the last 2 tablespoons. There's the oven warming up. Our oven takes forever to warm up, so I always get it started pretty early. Now we're just gonna kind of mix this together. Try and chop the butter up with your spatula into smaller pieces. Again, and not at the end of the world if you have to microwave it, melt it and pour it in, and that would be saving you some time. Okay, now we're gonna start. I always get one other little bowl. Add the other ingredients in. Don't be scared by the looks of these bananas. Bananas never go to waste in our family. When they start to get old, we throw them in the freezer. And when you pull them out ahead of time from the freezer, this is what they look like. They look really gross, but they make the best banana bread. If you don't have bananas in the freezer, you have to let your bananas get very ripe, very ripened, like almost to this kind of level. Even this type of banana, I would still let go a couple more days if you're gonna make banana bread with it. This is the gross part, as Lilia says, when you have to slide them out into the bowl. Not the most appealing again looking, but it makes it taste really good. Just slide them out. 4 bananas. And you'll use your fork just to kind of mash them up. You want to mix it really well, nice and mashed, because once it goes into the bowl, you don't want to overmix the bread. Here's a little piece I'm going to pull out. It's very dark. I won't put that in the muffins. Okay, we're just going to pop that in. I'm going to do a very brief mix up, not too much. Again, we don't want to overmix breads or muffins. Okay, the last thing we have here are 2 eggs. I always add a dash of vanilla. Again, this wasn't in my grandma's original recipe. I decided to add that in. I would say a half teaspoon to a teaspoon if I had to guess. Dan teases me a lot because I never have precise measurements on things sometimes, but that's just my style. The full recipe that I use will be in description, along with some of the add-ons that are optional, like the cinnamon, the nutmeg, that type of thing. Mix that up nicely, and then into the bowl. That's the last thing we add in. Kind of a joke in our family because Dan has the food channel. A lot of people think that I actually can't cook that well. So I'm glad I'm going to try and overcome my shyness and do a couple of my family recipes, things that I always make and that get asked for. Hopefully, if everyone likes it, let me know. And I can do some more of my recipes. Okay, we're just going to move this off to the side. I just use my same spatula to stir. I don't get an extra spoon or anything dirty. I hate dishes, so like I said, anything I can to make my life easier. And this is easy cooking after all. I already put the muffin cups in, and I have one of these very handy cookie dough scoopers. It makes it a lot easier to make sure they're all even. Before I got these from my mom, I was always dripping dough everywhere. And I hate it when the dough gets on the side of the edges of the pan. I usually just start with 1 each and then go back through if I have extra. This does make almost perfectly exactly 12. So that's always good. All right. One time I tried to make these in a mini muffin form and they overflowed and butter was dripping everywhere and it actually started a fire in the oven. So I learned by trial and error that time, mini muffins with these, not the best idea. But regular size muffins, when you have the parchment paper cups, works out perfectly. Now I'm going back through and topping them off with the extra batter. And one more. Okay, even though I tried to be careful, I did drip a little bit on the side over here, so I'll wipe it off so it doesn't get burnt onto the pan. And these are ready to go into the oven. The normal recipe, when you do it in loaf, you'll do it for at least 40 to 45 minutes. I only cook them for 30 to start when they're in muffin form, and then if need be, I'll add an extra 5 minutes. So I'll see you in a little bit once we pull them out of the oven. The timer just went off, so we'll grab them out of the oven. Here we go. 12 banana bread muffins. Super hot, nice dark color on the top. That's what you want to see. I'm gonna let these cool off and then Dan and I will dig in. Okay, the muffins are done. It's time to do the taste testing. Again, I really encourage you to make these muffins your own. You could add crushed up walnuts if you like banana bread with walnuts in it. If you like chocolate chips, throw chocolate chips in there. I mean, that's how I kind of experimented and changed my grandma's recipe a little bit. So let's see how they taste.
Of course. I've had them many times, but they're so good every single time. I'm gonna open this one just so you can see it. They're very nice and moist inside. As you can see, they're soft. They're very good. Mmm.
Kind of crunchy on the outside, but soft on the inside.
The banana flavor is perfect. They can go well with powdered sugar on top, or you can squirt some Ready Whip, or make your own Ready Whip. It's up to you, but they're really good. So I hope you enjoy them. Hope you have a good night. Try our recipes, share pictures, share comments, and hopefully you and your family and friends like them. See you next time.
Thanks, bye.